how's everything been so far? Getting comfortable up here and getting ready to do what you need to do on the field?
Yeah, it's been a good week. It's been nice to get to see some of the Georgia guys again, just to get to reconnect with them and see how they've been doing with their training and everything. So yeah, it's been a great couple days, and looking forward to the rest of the week.
How's the interview process been so far for you?
It's been a little hectic, a little crazy. We have some interview sessions that we've had each of the last 2 nights, where basically from 8 to 11 o'clock is just blocked off to go have interviews, and it's just kind of a free-for-all. You go in and, whatever coaches, are interested in you, just come pluck you off and take you to their table, and you just talk to them for, however long they want you for. So it's definitely been a little crazy, but it's been really good experience so far.
What do you, what do they want to know from you? What do they want to know? You had a big, high-profile career. What are some of the things they're trying to dig in and ask you about?
I think that one of the most important things for any specialist is just your mental game and your mental toughness. And so it's been a recurring theme, just asking about, how I handle adversity, how I handle tough times, just trying to prove that I'm going to be resilient and I'm going to be able to just sustain myself when things aren't going so right. It's easy to perform when you're doing well, but everybody wants to know how you're going to be able to bounce back and respond when things aren't going your way.
And how do you feel you've done the, coming out of Sprayberry and going to Georgia and, kicking for one of the nation's top programs?
I just think that, playing for the University of Georgia has been such a great experience, and it's just provided me and a lot of my other teammates that are here with opportunities to go out and play in, high-pressure environments, high-pressure situations, just playing in, games that have an impact on the national landscape each and every year. So I think that's been great for preparing us to go out and just do what we do in the toughest situations.
And the accuracy's there, and the touchbacks, they talk to you about that too. I know you had a good career kicking touchbacks.
Yes, sir. But there's plenty of teams out there that don't necessarily want touchbacks anymore. They kind of want the kickoff that's going to have great hang time. Just try and drop it inside the 5, around the goal line or so, and let the cover team go down and try and make tackles inside the 20. So it just all depends on who I would end up going to. So it may not be so many touchbacks anymore.
Oh, okay. Hey, and the Falcons said you want to bring in competition for the kicker that are trying to transition away from Matt Bryant eventually. Have they talked to you? Are you on their list to go see? How do you feel about that if they want to reach out to you?
Oh yeah, I talked to the Falcons 2 days ago, and they said that they're interested, like you said, in bringing in some competition. So I'm looking forward to any opportunity I get.
Thank you.
We had a couple of bad weather games this year. I think about Kentucky and Texas A&M, where we had some torrential downpours, what it felt like. As far as cold goes, we've been very blessed to have some more fair weather being in Georgia. So it's definitely going to be something to get used to if I should end up going somewhere that's a little bit more north. Absolutely.
How do you sort of convey, even though you've never really done it, but that's something that you're comfortable with?
Well, I just told them that all I'm going to do is control what I can control. There's nothing that I can do to alter the weather or change the weather. So I'm just going to go out and just focus on my technique and focus on executing, what I'm good at, and just trust that that's going to get the job done regardless of the conditions.
You talk about the teams wanting to know how you'd be under pressure. What would you consider to be your most pressure kick, if you will, the kick that you were maybe the most nervous about, or the one that meant the most at the time that you were under a lot of pressure?
Probably overtime in the national championship a couple years back when we were playing against Alabama. I would say that was probably the most high pressure situation I've been in.
Which kick, when you go back and look at your career, you're like, hey, this is the one I need to show the NFL GMs?
I think back to it was a 49-yarder that I made against Mississippi State in 2017, and as far as anyone else is concerned, it was just a 49-yarder. But I think that was probably the best ball, the best field goal that I've hit in my career, and it won't show up on any stat sheets or
Would
anything.
never guess that one.
Everyone's going to look at the 55-yarder from the Rose Bowl, or 51 in the national championship, or 53-yarder against Vandy in 2018, you know, because they're a little bit longer. But I think in terms of just how pure and how clean I hit the ball, it was a 49-yarder against Mississippi State in 2017 that hit above the All-State hands, and I felt like that was probably the best ball I've ever hit. So,
If you had one you could kick again, which kick would it be?
well, there's more than one that I would have liked to kick again,
only
but
one.
there's an obvious answer that I think about in the South Carolina game this year.
When we talk to the quarterbacks all the time about ball size, hand size, you know, it's relentless. What's the difference between kicking in college and kicking this NFL ball?
I don't know that there's a whole lot of difference. I know that thinking specifically about the balls that we kicked field goals and punted with, the Vapor Ones have some extra stitching on the panels of the ball, and having a lot of extra stitching on the ball prevents the ball from being able to compress and expand as violently as a ball that doesn't have it. So the NFL balls, from that point of view, actually are a little bit more favorable to kickers and punters because they're going to fly a little bit better coming off your foot. So that's one major difference that I look at there. Would be that they're a little bit more favorable to specialists at this point. I mean, I think it's, you know, prepared me in just about every way you could possibly think. It's prepared me to, you know, to handle competition. It's prepared me to handle adversity. It's prepared me to play in big-time games and big-time moments. And it's also prepared me as a man, just, you know, developed me and developed my character to be ready to go at the next level in just every facet.
So when you're in these meetings, you said they want to know about your mental game. What's your answer for that? What do you tell them about how you handle adversity?
I mean, I just tell them about how meticulous and just how detail-oriented I am with my preparation. You know, I think that building consistency in your preparation is going to build consistency with your, you know, with your performance. And so I just tell them that, you know, regardless of who we're playing, when we're playing, where we're playing, I'm going to prepare for the game the exact same way as if it's the most important game I've ever played. And so I think that that's something that that goes a long way, just to let them know that, you know, regardless of what the situation may be, I'm going to be as locked in as I can possibly be to go out and perform my job.
Week like for this group of specialists, your workouts are different. Probably your obligations are different than maybe what linemen and stuff are going through. What's this, you know, to be here with some of the other kickers and punters?
Well, it's great to be here. You know, all the guys that are here are obviously incredibly talented and have done some amazing things in their careers. To be invited here to, you know, to have this experience. So it's been really great to get to see some of these guys. A couple of them, you know, you see going through the camp circuit when you're in high school, and you know, I think about a guy like Sterling Hoffrichter, who's at Syracuse. You know, I saw him at a few camps when we were in, you know, high school. I saw him at like the Florida camp or something like that. And so it's kind of nice to see that, you know, they've gone on to do great things at their places, and now we're kind of all reconnecting here, and it's kind of coming full circle. Our obligations as far as where we've had to be and what we've had to do has been pretty much exactly the same so far. We've had all the same, you know, interview sessions and now media sessions and medical exams that we've had to do, so everything else has been, you know, pretty much exactly the same as any other position so far. Obviously, we probably aren't going to get quite as much media coverage as, you know, quarterbacks or the running backs, but, you know, that's just the nature of the beast, and that's something that we've been used to in our lives.
And you're not going to have to go bench press.
Exactly. So.
But if you did,
How many reps, Rodrigo?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not gonna say. It wouldn't be impressive.
It is a pretty tight-knit group, though. I mean, a lot of these guys, you know, Tyler and Blake, you spent time with at the Senior Bowl. You guys all become pretty tight at this point?
Yes, definitely. You know, like you said, it was great to get to see those guys and, you know, connect with them at the Senior Bowl. I had known Blake from back in high school and from the U.S. Army game senior year. Tommy Townsend as well. We were the Beasts of the East together in the U.S. Army game in 2015, and so it was great to get to reconnect with all these guys and then, you know, build some new relationships with some guys that I hadn't met before.
Probably missed this early part, but who have you met with this week? Have you met any formal interviews scheduled?
Haven't done any formal interviews. It's been all informal interviews, but last night was special teams specifically, where we went to a separate section of the of the stadium and got to meet with pretty much all the special teams coordinators from across the league. So yesterday was a really productive night, and it was really great to get to connect with all the special teams coaches.
Rodrigo, you were the kicker at Georgia for years. Now it's going to someone else. When you watch the Georgia games this coming year, who's going to be Georgia's kicker?
I can't say. I know there's going to be some great competition. I know that
Can you tell us about some of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, Jared Zirkle's coming in from Texas. He's obviously got a great leg. I think he made like a 59-yarder in his junior year. So he's obviously got tremendous leg strength. But I also know that Brooks Buse, who's been there for a couple years, is a really talented guy, and I know that he's going to give it his best shot. And I think that maybe even Camarda might be trying to kick field goals. So there's going to be a lot of really healthy competition, and it's going to breed the best guy for the job for this coming season.
Can a guy actually do all the field goals and kick extra points and kick field goals and do all the punting? Is that in today's game? Can you be an all-around guy like that?
I mean, I think that there's definitely an opportunity there. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But I know that whoever's the best guy for the job is going to be the one that goes out to execute. Yes, sir.
Do you ever punt?
I did in high school, yeah. I did until after my redshirt season at Georgia. I was still punting as a redshirt guy when I first got here, but going into 2016 was when I stopped. So I'm not punting here, but I'll most likely punt at Pro Day just because I know teams would be interested in it.
That's
just
why I asked.
Just in case of a pinch for some emergency, I'll be able to punt.
Well, I'm sure they're also going to ask you, your thoughts on tackling because there's some fantastic return guys in the NFL, and sometimes you're the last line of defense. I know you've had to do that, already.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts about doing it in this league?
Well, I'm hoping that the situation occurs as infrequently as possible. I know that it's unavoidable. At some point in my career, I'm gonna be put in a situation where I have to try and make a tackle, and I'm sure that when I get to wherever I'm going, that they're gonna be adamant about making sure that I do some tackling drills to make sure that I have proper technique, and I'll be as well equipped as I can be.
Do you ever have to try to at least touch up Mecole Hardman in practice? To touch him?
Here and there. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but yeah, whenever we had full KOC versus full KOR on Thursdays when we're doing all of our special teams and we do it with a live kick, if he was able to catch my ball and I didn't hit a touchback, then yeah, if he comes through the line, I have to try and tag him up on the sidelines.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's not the easiest task.